you are the favorite among students. So we have
Thank
Mr.
you so much.
Abhilash R, who is a very favorite among students. Yes, sir, please.
Please, madam, go ahead, madam, go ahead.
Yes, yes. So we have a good number of students joining. They'll keep joining in between. You may please start the session. Sir, in the end of the session, if you can spare 5-10 minutes for the students to ask question. We have muted the students. They're on mute mode. They cannot say anything. They cannot reply on chat. In the last 10 minutes, we open the chat. And at that time, they'll be asking certain questions.
Okay, madam.
Fine, sir. So you may please start, sir.
Thank you so much, Madam Ranu, madam, and good afternoon to all the students. So today, I thought of sharing, since it is a familiarization lecture, I thought of sharing few insights on the industry and how this industry is taken globally. Okay, so how it is being perceived globally, and what are the components that are which is attached with this tourism industry. So I won't be dealing much with the core concepts of tourism, because you are all the new entrants, so you got to know several things before getting into the industry. So I thought of just covering certain aspects of tourism industry. So my topic for the day would be tourism and the world. Okay, so tourism and world. So how tourism has been considered as an industry, and then how tourism is being appreciated by several stakeholders. Stakeholders means the people who do business with tourism, and do they really enjoy? Okay, so those who are part of tourism industry, do they really enjoy doing business in tourism? And is there any, how long do they stick with the industry? And how they encourage the new entrants, that is new entrepreneurs, to come inside the tourism industry. So basically, I will be touching on all these facts. Okay, so I have with me 15 slides just to show you some glimpse of certain tourism historiographies, like how tourism got originated and how tourism got developed. So normally when we think about tourism is could be well understood from our origin, actually, right? See, one concept is always it is misunderstood that whatever things that comes from west to east, it is called as science and technology, and whatever concepts that move from east to west becomes a philosophy. Okay, so we have to break that stereotype. Okay, so being tourism students, compulsorily we have to break the stereotype, because whatever we speak or whatever we give to the entire world is being considered to be a philosophy. Whatever the Eastern countries, I'm not talking only about India. Okay, so whatever Japan, whatever countries like Cambodia, the innovations they make, and after the end of all those innovations, it is being considered just as a philosophy by the Western countries. So our competition here is we have to make the world understand what really Indian tourism is, or the Asian concept of tourism is, right? So that is our important part. So before you study several subjects, so you'll be studying several subjects pertaining to marketing, selling, and negotiation. So before entering into that, you will have to understand the basic core of how our business of tourism is being understood by the entire world. Okay, so now I'm just sharing my screen. So I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. Okay. So now, let us see some green portion in tourism. So we'll become all active, because I understand all the students must have must be attending the session after lunch. So whenever you see greenness, right, that is why doctor wear green uniforms, right? So look into green, okay, greenery, always be positive, okay. And then let us get into history of tourism. So it has been said, okay, so when you all attend the college students, normally what you will read in the books is basic tourism books. You will be able to see people travel from one country to the other country, and they have, because of them, tourism contributions started becoming more, and there are key countries where tourism principles have started, right? For example, if you just see several books, several authors, several books, whatever innovations they say that it is originated from Belgium, okay, it is from Italy, it is from England, right? Especially with the transportation system, they'll say it is Germany, right? So in tourism also, all the credentials always go to foreigners. Though Indians have given enough contributions as far as tourism is concerned, it is totally going to the other foreigners. So now you can just see whatever I am just presenting you is, it's all from the textbook. Okay, so I have picked up a few points, a few bullet points from Cabby publication, few from Pearson edition, right, to show you that how these people are talking about tourism and how tourism is considered around the world. Okay, now they say that its history is dated from Sumeria, okay, Egypt, Greece, Rome, and Polynesia. Okay, so normally you just look into the map and search all these countries. Okay, these are all very small countries. When we compare our country with all these European and some forest Asian countries, our country is very much bigger, and our our resources, we call it as tourism resources. See, normally the meaning of tourism resource means we have temples, we have churches, we have mosques, we have monuments constructed by in way back during Gupta dynasty, Maurya dynasty, Chola dynasty, Pandya dynasty, okay, Chalukyas, right, Vijayanagara. So we have beaches, we have mountains, right, we have water resources, Lakshadweep, Andaman. We have almost more than 7,500 kilometers of coastline stretch that we have, and we have lots of water-based sport activities for the tourists, right? And we have leisure aspects, we have theme parks, and then we have entertainment parks, right? We speak only about Disneyland, but we also have Ramoji Film City with us. Okay, it is an Indian Disneyland. We can't compare our product with others, but it is an Indian Disneyland for us, right? Normally, when we say that a person who's getting Oscar award is being given more credentials. Okay, it is an award. It is an internationally acclaimed award, not a problem. But for people of India, for them, national award is one accrediting source, because there are different criteria. See, there are different criteria that people judge the brand image of a particular country's resource, right? So India is always given the backseat in almost even. I'm not criticizing the international agencies like UNWTO or other non-governmental agencies, but we are always being treated as the last option as far as tourism is concerned. But one thing is there, Mr. Inder Sharma, he's a Padma Shri awardee actually. He's a part of travel fraternity. You just go through, he's no more. You can just go through his autobiography. So I was reading weeks time back, I was reading his autobiography. He has written a book called as All the Doors Open. Okay, I think it is there in our library also. It would be in Gwalior library, in all the centers library. Kindly go and access that book. He has mentioned one key word. It is almost a 343 pages book. He has mentioned one key word. Contradicting the concept, India is the destination for all reasons and seasons. Okay, so people for all the 365 days, people can visit. That itself is a problem for us. Okay, what exactly happens is when somebody goes to Switzerland or somebody goes to what to say, Russia. Okay, so in all these places, we see the product is actually specified. There he can go, he can do skiing, he can do some adventure activities, right? He can go for a skiing resort, right? So it is actually particular and it is capsulated, right? But if for foreign tourist who is coming to India, he has got so much to see, right? If you if they take Uttar Pradesh, the entire image will be covered by only one particular monument. The inflow will be high. If you take Tamil Nadu, the entire image will be absorbed by one particular monument, Mahabalipuram or Tanjavur, right? So there are other places to visit also in each and every state. If you take Jharkhand, there are good waterfalls in Jharkhand. Okay, and northeastern states, visiting the village itself is a resource. Sometimes those who come to our country, they don't visit some of the beautiful states, and they will just go to Malaysia and Singapore from India. So this is what the students happening. Okay, so with the experience what I have, and with the analysis, the previous statistics what ministry has given rolled out, so this is how the pattern of visit have existed in the recent past as far as foreign tourists are concerned. Okay, but our country is major wealth. I'll tell you what are the advantages. In the entire lecture, I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of our country in comparison with the other countries, Western countries, as well as the competitors, Eastern countries. Right. So here, what happens is our country is having good number of population next to China. So that is a very big advantage for us, because people move from one place to the other place for pilgrimage reason. Okay, and pilgrimage visit is always no, it is every year visit. A person who was coming from Varanasi to Rameshwaram, it is a every time visit for him to make use of public transportation, to avail a hotel stay. So we cannot avoid that. See, today you may visit a monument. For example, you just say you may visit fort or you may visit a palace, right? Next year you may or may not visit. Okay, unless and until you go and visit, it is not confirmed, right? So once when you visit one big fort, okay, Senji Fort in Viluppuram, or if you just go and visit Jagar Fort in Rajasthan, okay, so Amber Fort in Rajasthan, you may visit it for one time, but you may or may not go and visit that place the next day. This is one thing, but religious places are not like that. So if you just take any pilgrimage destination, Ajmer Mosque, or you take Velangani Church, Goa Church, or if you just take Chardham Yatra, people always visit these places, especially age group of more than 45. You just consider more than 45 to 60, they all visit these pilgrimage destinations. So entire concept of pilgrimage tourism is very good in India. The market for pilgrimage tourism is totally good in our country, and so is these countries. So why are you seeing all these countries in the screen? Is they are all well versed in pilgrimage tourism, and that is why their name is highlighted in the history of tourism. Okay, students, whenever you come to college, when you're invited to the college physically, you can go and pick up a journal called as a journal for tourism and pilgrimage. Okay, International Journal for Tourism and Pilgrimage. It is a what to say? It is an international journal. It is a Scopus Index journal. If you just go through that particular journal, you will be able to find out certain countries whose name is repetitively in the pilgrimage list. And also, you can always see if one country is good, doing very well in pilgrimage concept, pilgrimage market, tourism, they attract tourists for other areas also. So it's not only, say, for example, I don't go to what to say, Kasi or Varanasi to see only to take that darshan and come back. What I do is I just would like to associate my visit with the other areas. In tourism terminology, we call it as organic bunch. Okay, organic bunch means, say I am visiting Tirupati. Everybody must be knowing Lord Venkatesha Tirupati, which is a very powerful spiritual destination. So what happens is there are several eco-tourism spots. Eco-tourism means people visit that place for natural attraction. They go and visit for what is a leisure activity also, right? So what they do, the main attraction is one concept, and there are other areas which are associated with that particular attraction, with that pilgrimage attraction. So that we call it as organic bunch in tourism, right? So in order to learn all these terms, what I would suggest you is you can just access a book called as Encyclopedia of Tourism. You need not purchase it; you can easily download. In the evening times when you're free, what I would suggest you is you can just download this PDF of Encyclopedia of Tourism, right? And if you want, you can take a printout and make a spiral binding of that also. It is very useful for you being tourism students, and mostly it will be useful for you in the interviews. Whenever you just attend interviews, lots of terminologies and lots of associated words, when you use it from the industrial aspects, you will be given much preference than the other students. So these are some of the suggestions I am just giving it to you. So whatever country I am showing in the screen, they are all good in the wellness aspect, spiritual aspects, as well as the pilgrimage aspect. If you just take see, Sumeria and all, now it is not at all a preferred country, but those days, okay, those days, even the countries like Mongolia, Sumeria, Egypt, okay, then if you take Greece, right, these are the countries which followed natural methods of worship, right? So they don't have an idol worship, okay? So they don't have a god image and they worship. They worship rain, they worship fire, right? Slowly they have transformed the tradition. They have just moved the tradition from one generation to the other generation. That is why they are very successful, right? So that is what in tourism, you should not see things only in the eyes of business, right? When I get some tourist groups, I make an itinerary, sell that itinerary, operate that itinerary, and earning business. That is not the case. You will have to confirm, right? You means it is the people who are in the industry, the students who are studying, the government, the private people who are doing the business. What they have to make sure is, are we protecting our traditions, right? Cultures, values. So that is also an integral part of tourism. So these countries were really successful in doing so, and that is why they made a show up in the international arena. Right. Let us get into a few facts. Who are all responsible for growth of tourism in the world? Right. So lots of traveler students. So you must have studied in your 10th standard or in 12th standard. There were lots of travelers like Hyun Song during Mughal in 17th century. He has traveled almost all parts of India. Then there are several travelers from China who have come all the way to India in order to study the culture. See, our culture is actually very rich, right? So I'll tell you one small point to you. In order to be the culture, when it is supposed to be a rich culture, and if it has to be recognized by all the people, first thing is we should not give up the language, what you are speaking, right? So language is a very integral part of human's culture. But though we are speaking in English, see the the power that English language has got. I am from a different language background, and you are from a different language background. And those people have come in 1600 in British East India Company. They are making both of us to speak and to listen in English language. See the way they have influenced us, right? See, our people, Indians, are studying how many languages? See, we are speaking our mother tongue and we are speaking one foreign language. And you know what, students, to learn a particular language, it almost all takes one decade to learn, right? 10 years to at least understand that language. Learning a language is not that easy task, right? So Indian people are very tolerant, and they are tolerant enough to accept so many other languages. So this we have to be very proud of. Right. You just go to France and you just ask that person to speak in English. He won't be able to speak in British English, but Indians could do it, right? And if you go to Germany, German people won't be able to speak in proper English, though they are intelligent, though they are having engineering marvel. But when it comes to language, when it comes to soft power, okay, what is the meaning of soft power? You are tolerant, right? You are tolerant, you are accepting whatever is necessary for you, and you are able to fight the world when you are, and you are able to do business with the entire world. You are able to trade with the entire world, countries, with the help of your knowledge, with the help of your wisdom. We call it as soft power, right? So when we have chance, we'll have a discussion exclusively on this soft power, because this soft power is very useful for tourism students. Why I'm telling is, I'll just tell one small example, students. See, if Spider-Man movie, I think you all must have watched Spider-Man movie. When Spider-Man movie was released in the cinema theaters, it was it was actually running full house. It was having houseful shows. People were rushing to see that movie. But if the same movie in India, it is very difficult to market also. They will say what type of movie they are shooting. Krish, there was one movie called as Krish by, I think it is, if I'm correct, Hrithik Roshan's movie. If it is a super hero movie, Indian people, for them, it is difficult to take it up. But if Avatar is getting released, or if Spider-Man is getting released, Batman is getting released, they'll just enjoy that movie. Harry Potter, all these fantasy movies will be, they'll have a big market. The people will push that movie to the box office area, and it will go on top 5 rating. But we just see our movies. But recently, this stereotype was broken by the Bahubali movie director Rajamouli, right? So he made the people believe. So it took almost all 2-3 decades, if I am correct, almost all 20 years time. The gap when all these superhero movies came into existence, and it earned name to Hollywood. Okay, when I speak about Hollywood, normally I think about their culture, the superpower. Okay, when I watch Avatar, when they do something in high budget, what normally the audience will think, right? They are all big people, they are all superpower. It's not like that. It is not at all like that. But they are making the world to believe, right? So for India to make others to believe, it is taking lots of time. Why? Because Indians, when you take people of Japan, when you take people of Indonesia, you take people of Singapore, even though Singapore is a developed nation, they have lots of tolerance there. The power of tolerance is very crucial, but the way they project them to the outside world, it is comparatively not competent when compared to the Western world. Okay, so this is called as soft power, students. In short term, this is called as soft power. But yeah, India in the coming years will definitely pick up as far as this soft power is concerned, right? And it is a different area of study in tourism, right? And I think you as tourism generations will be able to carry this forward to the next level for Indian tourism business, right? And coming to history of tourism, here you can see some countries where it speaks about travelers. Can you see? Can you identify any traveler from India? But we had lots and lots of travelers who have moved from our country to the other country, but we did not project it. Okay, but we as a country, Union of India, we did not project our travelers, and that is why our image is not highlighted in the entire world. Okay, we had martial arts gurus. I'll tell you, in Pallava dynasty, students, you just go back and see, and there was a movie also which was made based on this, The Seventh Sense. You can just watch this movie. Why I'm taking examples of movies, don't think I'm a movie buff, but movies everybody can understand. Okay, so that is why I'm taking examples from movies. There was a wonderful movie called The Seventh Sense, okay, which was made by the director Murugadas, right? He was a person who made a movie Gajini in Bollywood, right? He has told that a person from Saint from India has gone all the way to China because he was able to predict that a virus is going to step into India, and it was forecasted. And there he went and he made medicine for that, and he also taught martial arts to martial arts to the people of China, right? And he is also called as Damo, right? That person is also called as Damo, and he's called as Bodhi Dharma. In our country, he's named as Bodhi Dharma, right? So it is a very interesting, and that is why recently the leader from China has come to Mahabalipuram to visit that particular place because it has got lots of significance. But we people don't know. We don't know what is the importance of martial arts, right? There are several martial arts which in turn itself it's a tourism resource for us, right? So many martial arts are there. In Madhya Pradesh we have, Uttar Pradesh we have different forms of gaming resources. Bullfights are there. Bullfights have existed in different states of India in different names. But the problem is they made people to move from villages to the cities to work for all the industries. And in the name of job opportunities, we can't avoid that. But because of that particular shift, huge shift in the 21st century, what has happened was all these games, villages, norms, folklore is having suffering an identity crisis, right? So that is our utmost job to pull this up. So being tourism professionals, you will be able to do that, right? And also one more thing, students, it is not only that. And there is another saying in the history, India is the only country which has been invaded by all the other countries in the world, and India has not invaded any other country in that world. That is, which is totally false. It is totally false, I'll tell you, right? Because if India has not invaded other country, Indian rulers had never had an intention of invading other countries, but they have given architectural marvels to the other countries. To the Mer dynasty, if you just see the biggest temple complex in the world, but it is not a living temple. Okay, Angkor Wat. Okay, in Cambodia, that is actually an architectural marvel by an Indian dynasty. Right, for your information. So they have constructed lots of temples in Indonesia, in Cambodia, right? And there is one island called as Seychelles. Right? If you just go to the map, almost close to that Africa, you can find this island called as Seychelles. Okay, so this particular island, if you just go, you find lots of Indian architecture. Even now, it is living there, right? Our symbol, our language, our tradition, it's been engraved in the stones. Right, in Pali and Prakrit language, it is written there, right? So all these things, why I'm telling you is, when you just read generally the books of tourism, you just identify all international subjects, right? You learn it, but apart from that, as tourism students, what I suggest to you is, you should always take our image outside. Only then you get business, right? It is one way of getting more business and letting the people know that India has got specific tourist products, and it has got carved structure. Right? For example, I'll give you one solution. Like for example, a person is coming to Delhi. If you will have to give him some 15 options. Like he is having a stay in India for 1 week. So in 1 week's time, what are the important itineraries that he could cover? But it is not an easy task. It is not an easy task. It should be a mixture of cultural attraction. It should be a mixture of beach attraction. It should be a mixture of hill station attraction. So our packaging should change, right? Okay, our way of selling that resources should change. That is what, as a teacher, I feel. Why tourists spend very comparatively? I don't say they spend less nights in India. Like for example, the GDP or the foreign tourist spending in our country is always measured on the number of tourist nights that a tourist stays in hotels, right? So what happens here is, compared to Singapore, let us take our neighboring countries. Even you compare Sri Lanka, okay? Sri Lanka, the number of nights foreign tourists spend is comparatively higher than what he stays in India. Okay, India also has got Buddhist tourism circuits, better than Sri Lanka, I'll tell you. We have Bodh Gaya, we have the UP belt, Madhya Pradesh belt. We have good itineraries and circuits. In Andhra also, we have Amravati as a Buddhist tourism circuit, right? And associating with that, they can visit, they can do adventure activities. So we can keep on speaking. Just allow me to speak. I'll keep on speaking about the resources of India for almost all 1 or 2 days. You just ask any faculty members in IITTM. They'll be able to speak about the resources continuously. But the thing is that we all should do it together. Like we have to confine those products and resources, document certain things, and project it, okay, to the tourists. So this is one area as tourism students in the course of your study you should improve upon. Okay, that is one thing. And here Marco Polo is a person who traveled to different countries of the world using sail ships. Those days we used to have this sail ships, right? And in Europe also, there is one famous tour, and you will be studying in your first semester, which is called as Grand Tour. Okay, so Grand Tour started when the airlines and all these movements, trade barriers between the Asian countries and European countries have got resolved, and people started moving from one region to the other region. Right. So especially in 17th and 19th century, people started moving within Europe, and some of our stalwarts from India also have gone abroad and they have studied. Okay, some scientists from India, they have gone to European countries to study. So this is an exchange of knowledge. We call this era, that is 17th to 19th century, we call it as exchange of knowledge era. Okay, so it was given utmost importance those days. Now we are making it as a business. Okay, for example, one student wants to study his post graduation in Australia. He wants to do his research program in Australia. What these travel agencies they will do? Okay, the travel agencies they will arrange everything for them. Okay, their mansion, they will the stay over there. They will be arranging the transportation because students who go to other countries they don't go only for studies. They want to do sightseeing also. Okay, even they will arrange for sightseeing in a weekend or with, every 6 months they are given option to select that itinerary. So now it has been made as a business, but those days it acted as like sharing of knowledge, right? Okay, now let us see tourism in the other parts of the world. What every continent, okay, rather spelling it as country, every continent has got different resources. See, resources are nothing but students. It is your wealth. Okay, you have land, you have sea, you have wildlife. Okay, you have monuments, man-made attractions, monuments, religious attractions. So all these things are all called as resources in tourism jargon, right? So see, many of these resources will not have production cost. For example, if I show the sanitizer, this is having a production cost, right? The bottle will have a production cost, the liquid will have a production cost. Sometimes the manufacturing of the bottle will be outsourced to a person, so it will have a production cost. Okay, so but tourism we cannot do that. A tour operator or a person who's doing tourism business, he cannot claim that the entire Himalayas is it belongs to me. He cannot claim that ownership, right? Why? Because he may be allowed to do adventure tourism there with the permission, with proper protocol and the proper licensing. He will be given access to do adventure tourism in those areas. But the thing is that he cannot claim that the entire thing belongs to him. He has not produced that. It is fully, no, it is an ecosystem. It belongs to nature, right? So, if maximum tourism resource in the world, no, you can just split it up into 40% man-made resource and the rest is 60%. It is all natural made resources. Okay, so now let us see one by one the continents. What resources are they famous for? Africa is famous for the pyramids. You must have seen in several movies. The mummies, they will just bury the mummies. It will be like in a cone shape. Okay, it is famous for sea resorts. If you just go to Egypt, Morocco, all these are all famous for sea resorts, right? And then they are famous for ecotourism. There are people, there are scholars. For example, there are researchers who travel to destinations just to do research and write papers, write report on the nature, birds, ornithologists, right? If you just take ornithologists or bird watchers, they will come all the way from Serbia to India. I'll tell you this market, it is a very niche market, very costly market. They will come to Himachal Pradesh, they will come to Ooty, Udagamandalam, they will come to Kashmir, right? They will go to Orissa, right? And all these places, what they will do is they will just go and shoot the birds which are the edge of they are all endangered species. Okay, they are about to die. Their entire species is going to get extinguished. So they will document it and they'll go back and they'll spend lots and lots of money. Right, they will stay in a sophisticated resort. They will take sightseeing packages from the local tour operators. Okay, so this is actually a very huge market, students, and this is actually an industry. I would say if all the stakeholders in the industry and the government are focused, we can convert this ecotourism wildlife concept into a separate industry. Okay, so like how you just see when I say film industry, movies are there. Though we say movies, the BGMs of the movies are sold in YouTube, right? The BGMs of movies are actually taken as patents in several events, right? That itself is a separate industry altogether. Okay, so music, it's a separate industry. Rather, we think that it is a part of film industry, but movie themselves, they are all separate industries. Music industry, right? So music industry is different and this thing. So in tourism, when you just go for different concepts, we can think and try to create a separate niche, separate industry for each and every concept that we study in tourism. Okay. So the next, Africa is famous for culture and history. Now coming to Asia, our country is a part of this Asia. So we have good geography. You name anything, you name that you want to enjoy water-based activity. Asia has got diversity of culture. We have got everything, right? That's what there is. And as tourism professionals, since it is a familiarization lecture, I'll tell you, the more number of resources and products that you register in your mind, the smarter professional you will evolve in the tourism industry. Okay, so that is what I wanted to tell you. More products you study. Say, for example, if you are from Madhya Pradesh, you study about Orcha, right? Why people should go to Orcha, where they will have to stay. Is homestay better or hotels better, right? If you are knowledgeable in these areas, right, you will become the best tourism professional students. Believe me, it is a very good industry. It is a very good industry where you will get paid for enjoyment, right? Provided you should be very smart, right? You should take up certain things, documents and certain aspects that you are supposed to register in your mind, so that whenever you are asked by the tourist, or whenever you are asked by a B2B person, sales person, you'll be able to tell them or give them instant information. So in tourism, studying business administration, one important agenda that you're supposed to follow is registering things in mind and instantly giving information. Are you really successful in that, right? Then you'll go to the next level, right? And moving to the next level in this industry is very easy, right? Not like a software industry, or if you just find this production industries, automobile sectors, it will take 10, 20 years, 20 years, they'll be lingering in the same position, right? But in tourism industry, in a short span of time, you can go become a regional manager. You can easily become, down the line in 15 years, you can become a country head for a particular function, management function, like marketing or operations, etc. Right, hotel contracting, several areas are the students to explore, and this is how you enjoy this industry. Now coming to Australasia, okay, and there are some of small islands near to Australia, okay. So all these countries, New Zealand, Pacific, Micronesia, Australia, so they're mainly famous for the resorts, right? When you just take the continent of Australia and the nearby islands, they are mostly known for their resorts, right? Even they have in Australia, I'm not getting straight with the name of the resort. It is a first undersea water resort. People normally speak about Dubai, but Dubai has not come out with that concept, but they have tried that concept. They have given a concept of undersea water resort, wherein tourists will be able to see that Great Barrier Reef. Okay, so that concept was there, but due to several environmentalists, what has happened was the project was stopped and it was never given access, right? So mostly they are famous for resorts. Ecotourism, yeah, of course they have cultural tourism, not like Asia. Okay, so this is the analysis that you're supposed to do. Like you take countries in Africa, important countries. You take Kenya, you take Egypt, you take South Africa, which are doing well in tourism. Ethiopia, they are also doing well in tourism. Now, these for the past 5 years, they are doing a marvelous job in ecotourism. Right. So Kenya is famous for game reserves, bird watching, wildlife sanctuaries. So pick up one country. Study what they are famous for. Okay, so at this starting level, what I will suggest is every day you need not spend 1 hour time, just spend 15 minutes. Okay, just spend 15 minutes time, and what you are supposed to do is go through every country and what these countries are famous for. That you keep it in your mind. So that will help you out to prepare for your interviews and other aspects. Okay, so next coming to Europe, right? Europe is always famous for the infrastructure. Okay, the entire continent, because they are the richest continent. Right? They have come to India. They have plundered several things from India. Now they are claiming that they are the richest people in the world. Okay, so you take England, right? Now there are European Union countries, right? So what are they famous for? They are famous for obviously culture. They have culture. They have architecture. They are famous for the romance, right? They have a backup of romance. If you just take Paris, if you take Spain, right? People go there and identify monuments which depicts romance in the sculpture, right? For that, tourists they travel, and moreover, why a European country is always attracting tourists. Just take the country of France. Almost all, approximately 70, more than we can take 70 lakhs tourists flowing in a month time and coming back. Okay, now of course the situation is different because of the pandemic. In a one month duration, you can just see people from South Africa, from India, the feeding markets of tourists to France, from Canada, from USA, from South America, important countries of South America. They go and flood France and they come back because they are very tourist friendly. And one more thing, the control of tourism is being done by the government part. Unlike India, where we witness lots of privatization the tourism business. When you take the example of France as an example, it is slightly controlled by the government. Okay, and that is why I'll tell you one thing, students. French people also invaded India. Then Britishers also invaded India. Both of them they invaded India, but one thing, Britishers were successful. Why? Because they were private company. That is, British East India Company is a private company. But French government, French colony, when they came to India, they were able to occupy Karaikal, Pondicherry, Yanam in Andhra, Mahe in Kerala. Why? Because they, whenever they do something, whenever they try to conquer something, they will have to ask permission from the government. That is why they were not successful in invading India. Okay, British were able to do it a little bit fast. And language also. When you colonize a place, what do? You just spread the language, right? Actually, the Britishers have already given the resources to us. But French people, even though they are much worse and versatile than the British government, they are controlled by government. Even tourism industries, every infrastructural aspects of tour operating companies, they are backed up by government. And I'll tell you one country named Cuba. Okay, Cuba, entire tourism industry is controlled by government. The pharmacy industry, the tourism industry, and the education industry is totally controlled by the government. And Cuba is one particular country which gives very decent importance to tourism. Okay, so all these things you are supposed to know, because as tourism students, you should also step into the international aspects and international areas where tourism concepts are different, and you can also think as managers, because tomorrow you'll all become managers in different areas. So you should learn from others and bring those concepts to our country. So North America, as you all know, America always has got a tendency to boast up. Okay, I can tell it as an Indian citizen, because why? Because they are good in environment, they are good in national parks, they are good in infrastructure, culture. But culture, I don't say, but though they endorse upon that cultural aspects, Asian countries are far better in selling the cultural related aspects, showcasing the cultural image to the other world. USA national parks are well maintained. We have Grand Canyon, we have Yellowstone, right? We have falls there, so they have given maximum importance. Similarly, students in our country also, one thing that is still prevailing in red tapeism. Okay, so what is that red tapeism? Is we have resource, but the thing is that we are not decorating that resource and showing it. Okay, so that is where we fail. Okay, so that we have equally good national parks in India, we have good wildlife sanctuaries in India, then waterfalls are there in India, but only thing is we need some amount of show up. That is what the world expects from the country, our India. Okay, next, same thing, like if you just take South America, sometimes sports, we have Brazil there. Okay, so sport itself is a concept of attractions to several people. Football as a game. Now in India we have IPL, like Indian Premier League is going on, and visitors, they come to see the match, and they do sightseeing, right? Apart from that, so similarly, this particular continent is very good in attracting people for football game, and they have archaeological parks, sites. It's very famous. And Chile is a country which is good for its cuisine, that is food and wine and cheese also. They're very good in cheese manufacturing, right? So Argentina, all these areas, they have they give importance to games, right? So on totality, right? So in this Madam has given me 15 minutes time. So in this totality, so that is what I would like to conclude. See, how do you understand tourism? Right? Before studying into tourism, don't think I will get money if I go and study tourism. Students, don't think about that. Right? So be fashionable. So this is always normal advice given by everybody, but this is truth. Right. So what you are supposed to do is always be, take the profession as a fashionable profession. Whatever subject you study. See, even if you study history, study it with a passion, you will go to a greater height. Right. You take economics as a subject, you will go to greater heights. You take zoology as a subject, study it well, study it with interest always. And the only thing that the demography dividend of our country is facing is, as rightly said by our Honorable MP Sachtaru in his book called as Pax Indica. Okay, if you have time, please read that book, Pax Indica. Very useful book for all the citizens of India. Proudly we can say that, see, something is incepted into the mindsets of our people. Is that when I do something, will I get benefit out of that? Okay, our ancestors have never thought about that. I'm telling before 50s. Okay, before 1950s, you just think about, imagine about your ancestors. Right, they have never thought about that. If I am just doing something for the nation, will I be getting benefit out of that? Never think about that. If you are not thinking about that, your success is guaranteed. Okay, so on seeing all these points, clubbing all these points, let us characterize the tourism. So tourism itself is having a character. Okay, globally it is having a character. So tourism is sometimes how it is said, it is related with accommodation, hospitality, right? When people are not treating you properly in a destination, you will not enjoy tourism. So it is always related to hospitality. Okay, it includes both leisure and business travel. People say leisure more, business less. They said before 2000 and after 2000, business and leisure are equal. Both are equal. People travel to a particular area for business reason. For leisure purpose also, they equally travel. Okay. Now there are certain things that you will be studying in your classes. Normally, you will be studying generally intangible. See, tourism products cannot be touched, right? It is heterogeneous. The characters of tourism is heterogeneous. In tourism, you have different experiences, right? You go to temple, you have divine experience. You go to what to say, adventure spot, you will have a adrenaline rush experience. So your experience will change from one place to the other place. So this is the unique part. See, this is the characteristics of a tourism product. Okay, services consumed on site in situ. Okay, so the meaning of this is you cannot claim, right? You go to Taj Mahal, you enjoy that scenery, beauty, right? You cannot do campfire inside Taj Mahal, saying that I have paid my entrance fee. You cannot do that, right? So you enjoy there, don't deplete that, and you have to come back, right? So that is one nature of tourism, right? And you can take photographs. That is all you'll be carrying forward to your family members. Perishable, right? What is perishable? Today you are not able to enjoy, okay, or a business person is not able to sell his experience. Tomorrow, whatever he does, he won't be able to do that, right? So it is always perishable. Today's thing we'll have to experience today itself. There is one concept in Kerala called as monsoon tourism. Monsoon tourism, that time only you can enjoy. Right, that is why government of Kerala has already branded it, sub-branded with God's own country, and they are promoting monsoon tourism, especially during this July, August, September time. Especially September time, they do this, and they get lots of foreign tourists. And to the surprise, what they do is they don't even book through travel agency. They directly book to the hotel people, and they come back, come to Kerala, take their passport. Sometimes they have multiple entry visas in tourism visas. They come back. Right, and experience center. So tourism is all about experience. You are climbing a hill station, and your car is getting punctured, and you are getting stagnated there for 6 hours. Right. So you will, even though the attraction is good, you don't have experience. So all these things are some of the characterizations. Right. So here, let us see. It combines the destination, travel, everything. It has food. Everything should be good. Food should be good. People should talk to you in a good way. What to say, accommodation should be good, and you should get value for your money. See, for example, if I pay 1 lakh to travel to Dubai, that I should feel okay, my 1 lakh is worth. Otherwise, I will not feel happy, because it is a hard-earned money. Even though a person is very rich, it is a hard-earned money, right? So that is called as value for money. And accommodation, food services, attractions, travel services, everything put together, it is a character. So every human being has got a character, and so is the tourism industry. And then coming to now, let me tell you the definition. See, definition, always try to tell tourism definition in a layman's perspective. Don't memorize any definitions. Okay, so it is said a person who is actively engaged in tourism, he has to cross his country's boundary and he has to go to the other international borders, and then he should more than 24 hours and less than 365 days, right? He has to go and do all the activities of various reasons. He wants to relax, he wants to travel on business purpose, he wants to go for pilgrimage reason, whatever it is, right? So certain things are there, and every country has got its own measurement or definition for tourism, defining tourism, that you can make use of your library. So you'll enjoy different definitions of tourism and why they are defined. In tourism, I'll tell you the definition is normally given by any government or any international agency, mainly because to measure, okay, to take up the statistics. For that only they define. That's all. Okay. So these are the different forms of tourism. Students will be studying your academic sessions. Okay, the forms of tourism: domestic. When you are from Uttar Pradesh, you travel to Andhra Pradesh, you are a domestic tourist and you are a citizen of India, right? Inbound tourist, a person from South Africa, he is coming and tripping entire India, he is an inbound tourist. Outbound tourist, you are an Indian citizen, you are going to South Africa, okay, is an outbound tourist. So inbound and outbound, we call it as international market, okay, international tourism, right? So inbound and outbound both are considered to be an international tourism, okay. So national, travel by resident, okay. So this is, it's enough if you understand domestic, inbound and outbound. So these are the things, and I'll tell you who are the wholesome stakeholders, the broader stakeholders who are associated with tourism, and I'm going to end up here. Okay, so that I think Madam has told that there could be some questions from the students. So this will be my last slide. Tourism organizations are the host community. See, students, you cannot develop tourism without the community support. If you want to develop tourism in Meghalaya people don't want tourism. Or if you go to Havelock Island in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, people don't want tourism. You cannot develop tourism there. You cannot do business there, right? And then local authorities, yeah, of course, your tourist department, ecotourism authority, temple endowments department, cultural department, panchayats. If you go to village level, corporation, every local authority is involved in this. You can't do business. You cannot play football in an empty ground. That applies to tourism industry aptly. Okay, travel services. Yes, you are going to work here in tour operations segment. You have visitors attractions, all your attractions, festivals, Pushkar festival, Onam festival, okay, any form of a dance festival, socio-cultural festivals, all are there associated with the tourism industry. Transportation is very important. Non-governmental NGOs in some states, they are doing a wonderful job in uplifting tourism in our country. They are very important for you. Recreation and entertainment, like theme parks. Now you have conclave tourism within a particular area. You have lots of entertainment activities. So they are also there. Advocacy groups, activists, cultural activists, language activists, environmental activists. So they are behind you. Okay, and of course academic institutions like IITTM and other universities who train human resource for safe and honorable tourism in our country. So yeah, so this is what I thought of telling you, students. And now I'm just stopping the screen sharing, right? So thanks for your time and patience. If you want to ask any questions, you are always